Do you know that snail housing is one of the important aspects that you are supposed to consider before starting your snail farming business? Because the choice of snail house that you actually make will have a great impact and effect in the snail farming business as you go on. So in today's video, I'm actually going to be telling you why you should not necessarily choose the wooden type of snail housing when you are starting your snail farming business. In my previous video, I actually talked about the greenhouse aspect of snail farming business, but on today's video, I'll be talking about the wooden housing system and why you don't necessarily need to consider starting your snail farm with it. If you have actually been following me on this my channel and watching my video, you'll find out that I hardly talked about the wooden aspect of snail housing. Not necessarily that is not good, not necessarily that I don't encourage it, but there are some limitations, there are some disadvantages why I don't really recommend it to people. Even some of you that do call me, do consult me and asking me which one should I go, you find out that even when you are starting with a little capital, I don't really encourage you to start with the wooden pen. A lot of you can attest to that. Why? The reason is very simple. You know, in the wooden housing system, so many persons prefer using the wooden housing system, most especially those that are not actually on their own permanent houses, those that are on a rented apartment. So building a block pen or a greenhouse is an issue. So they tend to start with the wooden housing system, and then as time goes on, probably they will secure a place where they can now construct their block pen or their greenhouse. But over time, you will find out that even as people believe that it's less expensive to construct, you find out that you end up spending higher amount in terms of maintenance, which will become more expensive compared to when you are even constructing a block pen. So one is that if you are constructing the block pen, there will always be provision for shade. So you will make a roof or a shade so that the snails and the pen will not be exposed directly to the sun. And then if you are also using the wooden one, there will also be provision for the shade, because you cannot construct the wood and leave it just in an empty place. So there will also be provision for the shade. But now where the problem lies is that because you always water the pen, you constantly water the pen, before you know it, the wood that you use in constructing the pen will start to rotting, and you will always need to maintain it. It's either you change them or you will just wake up one day only to discover that it has all fallen off and your snails will escape. I'm actually sharing this video because from experience I have had a lot of persons who give up, and when I inquire, when I interact with them to actually find out why they gave up, you find out that most of the reasons they give me is that the woods started rotting, and they cannot afford to maintain again, and it's as if the thing is not working, they will just give up. I know, knowing fully well that snail farming business is a business of patience, it's a business of time, that you actually need to give it time to actually nurture it and then grow. And before that period of time that you actually need to grow and start reaping what you have actually been sowing for a long time, the woods must have rotten, and in the process they have not actually started reaping what they have sown or what they have been sowing all this while, and they will just give up along the way. So I've had a lot of persons that they will tell you that even they will use the hardwood, we have hardwood, and but no matter the type of hardwood you are using to construct the wooden pen, it's just a matter of time before you know it. As long as you keep watering the place, as long as you introduce soil in that particular place, as long as you keep watering the place, because you cannot do without watering the place. The snails itself, they need the water. So the more you keep watering the pen, the more the woods are being soaked with water, and the more they are getting weaker, and before you know it, it will start getting rotten. And as the wood gets rotten, the next thing is that you will need to change it, or they will just get spoiled and your snail can even escape. So it becomes very, very important that before you even start at all, if you intend starting with wooden pen, you should make up your mind and know too well that you have to be doing maintenance, because at interval, let's say maybe 5 months, 6 months, or 4 months, there will be need for you to do maintenance, either change the aspect that are already getting rotten, or the ones that are rotten already, you need to change it, bring new ones, and then you also pay labor for the person that will come to do the maintenance. You also pay the person. So you have to prepare your mind. So it's not as if I'm just condemning it or discouraging people to use it. Of course, if you are actually in a rented apartment where you cannot construct the block pen, it's good, you can start with it, but then you must prepare your mind that 4 months, 5 months interval, you ought to do maintenance work on that pen. And by the time you keep on doing this maintenance at these intervals, you find out that at the long run you're already spending a lot of money. But if you have a place, is your place, or you have a rented place you are, but there is a space where you can build a mini or small block pen, and the person who owns the place will not disturb you, you just negotiate, talk to the person. If he can allow you to build it, it's far better. I prefer it. I will advise you go for that than using the wooden pen, because at long run you spend a lot of money doing maintenance work, changing the rotting woods and all those stuff. But in the block pen, once you have spent that money to construct it, the duration it will last you without you doing any maintenance work will be very, very, very long compared to the one that the wooden pen will actually give you. So as most, just know that you have to make up your mind, if you are using the wooden pen, that you will always be putting in money in maintenance and all those stuff. So that is why you don't need to start with it. If you are actually on your own apartment, or if you have a permanent place you are looking at building, you don't really need to start with wooden pen. Wooden pen is most often for those who are on a rented place. But at that also, prepare your mind and know that you'll be spending a lot of money at an interval to maintain the farm itself. Thank you once again for watching my video. See you in my next video. Bye for now.